So it's December the 9th, 2016. I'm sorry I'm dressed like I am, but I am on bed rest and currently stuck, not able to get myself together, but I feel like a hot mess, so I guess looking a hot mess kind of plays the part. The last 2 days I've been alone with my thoughts, and that's kind of a dangerous place to be, but while being alone with my thoughts, I thought there has got to be other women that I can share a little bit of my story with, and maybe just one would be encouraged. Girls, life is hard, and we are hard on ourselves. Nobody has to be mean or ugly to us because we're ugly to ourselves. I know that I am. Nobody has to tell me that I'm fat because I've already seen it. Nobody has to tell me I look bad because I know it. Nobody has to tell me that I'm a bad mom because I've already felt it. But we just choose to be ugly to each other anyway. This last year has been a year of change for me. Today is December the 9th, and it's 19 years since the first day that I went out with my soon-to-be ex-husband. 19 years is a long time. That's a whole person. It's half of my life. And in that, I would like to say that I have all these feelings that I've been dealing with in this grief period and all of this, but I don't. Because by the time I left, I was done. And I'm grateful for that. What I'm not grateful for is I didn't love myself enough to leave sooner. You see, I was so busy checking off everybody else's list, make sure you go to college, check, get married, check, have babies, check, stay married, okay. And then I was so just busy in myself, I'm good at helping people. That's what I'm good at. I love to love people. So I would just take care of everybody, add project number 1, add project number 2, and y'all, I got so busy helping other people that I lost myself. And 19 years flew by. 3 of my older boys moved out. They got older and life happened and they got grown. And even though I had 4 kids at home, it wasn't the same thing, and I kind of empty nested. And I started to look around and I started to think, gosh, I don't even know who I am. Who am I going to be when I'm not at football games and basketball games and chaperoning dances? And I looked at my spouse and I didn't even know who he was. And then I looked in the mirror and guys, I didn't know who that person was. And the scary part was, I didn't care who she was. See, the whole point of today and what I'm sharing is that the reason I was busy in myself was that I didn't have to deal with this hot mess. Because I, just like everybody else, has a story. People would like to say, oh, Rachel, she had it together. No, Rachel didn't. Rachel does a really good job of hiding things. Rachel covers up, and Rachel would take problem number 1 and problem number 2 and just cover and cover until finally about a year and a half ago I said, no more covering. I got to get it together. It's been hard. I'm not pretending like it's not been. But I've done it. But what I want to tell you and what I want to encourage you to do is love yourself. We have got to discover how to love ourselves because it's hard out here. We have people hating on each other and we don't need to. I met this friend and we had become friends, and I hadn't had time for friends in a long time, and I thought, wow, this is great. But just in my traditional fashion, I wanted to fix her problems, and so I added another problem into my barrel, and then when I couldn't fix it, I carried those broken pieces around, and when I couldn't fix it and it was tearing me apart, it almost killed me, y'all. So then that was the day I decided, you know what? I can't. And you know why? Because God was so clear with me that day. He said, Rachel, you can't fix her. You can't fix anything. I can. And I argued with him. Believe me, I argue with God. And I said, but I love her and I want. He said, I don't care. He said, you just love yourself. And y'all, I'm trying hard. I'm trying real hard. I'm like the little kid that comes home from kindergarten with the little paper that they drew and they want mom and dad to see, and they've posted it on the refrigerator hard. And some days seem impossible. I drove up to this doctor's appointment the other day and I had to have this test done, and it was real scary. And I didn't go in. I blew it off. I couldn't find out that I had something. And be a single mom and have kids and walk that journey by myself. I didn't want to know, and so I just drove away. So some days are hard and I'm not ready yet. But I'm getting there. I made the appointment again and my plan is to go. But I'm learning to look in the mirror and figure out who I am. Like this short hair and it's because I don't know who I am, so I keep trying to discover. Like, I lost 45 pounds this year. It's a heck of a diet plan. You know, I'm convinced if I had a funeral today, if I had died and the funeral was today, it'd be packed with people. I've been around. But in my darkest moments the last couple of months, I have a handful of people I can call. And maybe one has the capability of getting here. It's not the quantity, it's the quality of people. And so I encourage you, number one, love yourself. Look in that mirror and compliment yourself. Take care of yourself. Take that nap. Listen to that music. Buy yourself that treat. Number two, love one person really well. Pick a friend and love on them. I love all my friends. Take care of them. If we can be that person for somebody, we might change a life. I have a few people right now that without them, I would be under my bed some days. My kids and I, we're good. And so on the days when I'm wearing those awful words, those black sheep, worthless, ugly, hopeless, too fat, too skinny, not cool, words that I've heard and I play over and over in my head, y'all, you call on those friends that you've poured into, and they'll remind you that those words aren't true. Because they're not. God didn't make any of us a hot mess. We do that. I have a daughter, and she does everything I do. She copies every move I make. And I want her to be able to look in the mirror, and I want her to see her own reflection. I want her to be happy with her own reflection. I don't want her to look over and see what a boy thinks of her, or what her best friend thinks of her, or what I think of her. I want her to know that she's perfect in God's image. And I want you to know that I'm proud of the work you're doing. I'm proud of the changes that you've made. If you need to hear that you're important, you are. Because I know some days that's all I need to know. I need to know that you're looking at the picture I'm holding up that I drew, that I moved out. My kids and I are good, and I'm trying so hard. I miss my friend, but I had to let go. And 2017 is going to be amazing. Be that friend. Love yourself.